My wife, Elena Sterling, is a concert violinist. To ensure the perfection of her first comeback concert with her one that got away, Adrian Kane, she ignored the fact that she was 5 months pregnant and stood barefoot on a block of ice to accompany him. Adrian had claimed, "The theme of my performance is love in the snow. Only a performance on actual ice can capture its ethereal and aesthetic purity." No matter how vehemently I objected, Elena had simply said, "You don't understand how important this concert is to Adrian. I would do everything in my power to help him complete it. No one can stop me." Adrian's concert was a massive success. But our child, Elena's and mine, stopped moving because she had been subjected to the freezing cold for too long. She said, "Survival of the fittest. If he couldn't survive, it proves he wasn't meant to come into this world anyway. It's better this way." She didn't want the child anymore. And as for her, I didn't want her anymore either. I had watched Elena's feet turn bright red from the cold, my heart aching unbearably. "Elena, stop playing. Please get off the ice. How can your body handle this? The baby can't handle it." Elena stopped her bow, looking at me with irritation. "Enough, Julian. Can you respect the art for once? I need to focus wholeheartedly when I play, not worry about these trivial matters. The baby is inside me. Do you think I, as a mother, don't know if he's okay?" She snapped. "Can you stop disturbing my work? Before we got married, I told you I wouldn't give up my career for a child. You promised me that before I agreed to marry you. I expect you to keep your word." Adrian looked at Elena, feigning deep concern. "Elena, maybe we should forget it. You're pregnant. If something really happens, Julian will be devastated. Worst case scenario, I'll find someone to replace you. Although no violinist in New York can surpass you, your health is more important." Elena looked at him tenderly. "What nonsense. We made a pact to finish this concert together. Have you forgotten? It's my body. No one knows better than I do whether the fetus is fine or if there's anything wrong." With that, she stepped barefoot onto the ice block again. "Let's run through the duet once more. It has to be more perfect than the last time." She didn't even look back as she took her position in the center of the ice. Adrian looked moved. Elena really is a born goddess of music. She sacrifices everything for art. "Julian, you really are a lucky man." I watched Elena standing on the ice, her feet turning from red to purple, her lips going pale. My heart turned to ash. If this continued, something was going to go wrong with Elena. I watched the orchestra repeat the piece over and over, Adrian nitpicking every detail. By the end, Elena's hand holding the violin was trembling. "Enough. Elena is pregnant. How is this any different from murder?" I rushed onto the ice and forcibly picked Elena up. She protested, mumbling, "Put me down, don't interfere with my work." But she was completely immobile, her whole body shaking uncontrollably. I rubbed her hands frantically, trying to get some warmth into her, and made her drink warm ginger tea. But her color didn't return. She grew paler and paler until she clutched her stomach and whispered slowly, "Honey, call 911. Call an ambulance." Then, she fainted dead away. I didn't even have time to react before she collapsed. Someone screamed, "Help!" Elena passed out. We rushed her to the hospital. After checking her vitals, the doctor tore into me. "What is wrong with you people? Is work more important than health? Your wife is 5 months pregnant. Standing on ice to perform caused fetal demise. Is your brain missing, or just cruel? Do you know what fetal demise at 5 months means? It's not a simple miscarriage. It requires induced labor. This causes massive trauma to a woman's body." Elena woke up, heard those words, touched her prominent belly, and asked calmly, "Doctor, can you arrange the induction surgery immediately?" I gripped her hand tightly. "Elena, I'll be with you the whole time. Rest properly for a while after the surgery. No more practicing." She pulled her hand away and looked at the doctor. "Adrian's concert is in a week. We can't delay. Doctor, schedule the surgery now. I must be discharged before the concert begins." I looked at her in disbelief. "What are you saying? You want to go to the concert after surgery? You're not going to take any recovery time? You're going to stand on ice for 2 hours? Are you insane?" Elena froned impatiently. "Julian, I expect you to respect my career. The fetus has stopped living. Its existence is meaningless now. I need to deal with it immediately so it doesn't affect my work. Is there something wrong with that? Would crying about it be useful?" She continued cold-heartedly. "Before we married, I said I didn't want to bear children, and you agreed. This pregnancy was an accident. Now that it's gone, it just proves survival of the fittest. It didn't survive because it wasn't meant to be in this world. What's the point of you making a scene? Can you stop looking for trouble?" My vision went dark. I nearly fainted. I had fallen in love with Elena at first sight, watching her perform at a gala. I thought she was celestial. I pursued her passionately for 2 years before she agreed to marry me. Before the wedding, I did promise that if she didn't want children, we could be a dink, double income, no kids, household. This pregnancy was an accident, but when she agreed to keep it, I was overjoyed. I catered to her every whim, just waiting for the baby to arrive in 10 months. Who knew it would end like this? At Elena's insistence, she underwent the induction surgery very quickly. When she woke up, Adrian rushed into the hospital room holding a thermos of chicken soup. Ignoring my presence, he grabbed Elena's hand. Why are you so silly? You didn't say anything when you were uncomfortable, just enduring the pain. Now the baby is gone. How can I ever make this up to you? You lost this child for me, Elena. Elena smiled gently. It's fine. It was just a minor procedure. Adrian opened the insulated container. I simmered some chicken soup to help you recover. They say free-range chicken is the best for healing. Hurry and drink some. I added ginseng. If I hadn't opened the container and smelled that familiar aroma, I almost would have believed him. I ladled out the soup and realized instantly. This was the signature soup from the Vance Hotel chain, my family's business. The medicinal herbs in it were a proprietary blend. 2 of the ingredients weren't available anywhere else in the city. He certainly knew how to play the good guy, claiming he cooked it himself. Adrian sighed. It's all my fault. If I hadn't demanded so many repeated rehearsals, you wouldn't have stood on the ice for so long. Elena comforted him. Adrian, you are a successful artist. High standards are normal. Don't worry, I will definitely attend your concert on time. Adrian looked at her with surprise. Really? Is your body up for it? Elena looked at him and nodded, her eyes filled with a tenderness I had never seen directed at me. I said in a low voice, absolutely not. You are in post-operative recovery. If you expose yourself to extreme cold now, the consequences could be severe. Elena darkened her expression and looked at me. Julian, this is my career. Please do not make decisions for me. I shouted, but you are my wife. The child you just removed was my child. Her eyes reddened as she snapped back. If you insist on using your status as a husband to stop me, then we can only divorce. We don't have a child anymore anyway. So, divorce is simple. That way, you can find another woman to bear your children, and I can focus on my career. My eyes widened. What did you say? Just because of Adrian, you destroyed our child, and now you want a divorce. Adrian quickly tried to soothe Elena. Elena, don't be sad. You can't cry right now. It's bad for your recovery. He gently hugged her, letting her lean into his chest while he wiped her tears, then looked at me with dissatisfaction. Julian, at a time like this, must you fight to win against Elena? What kind of husband are you? You really are inconsiderate. Watching them cuddle together, incredibly sweet, I felt a blockage in my chest. As long as Adrian was around, it would always be like this. Since we got married, Elena had been lukewarm toward me, cold to my friends. I always explained it away, saying artistic women were just naturally aloof. Later, I realized I was wrong. I just hadn't seen the light in her eyes when she looked at Adrian, passionate enough to melt anyone. It turned out she could be warm, she could laugh out loud, just only with Adrian, never with me. Furious, I stormed out of the ward and sat in the stairwell, smoking a cigarette alone. I reflected on where my marriage with Elena had gone wrong to reach this point. After finishing the cigarette and letting the smell dissipate, I stood up to return to the room. Just as I exited the stairwell, I heard nurses at the station giggling. The patient in VIP room 3 and her husband have such a great relationship. I feel like if they weren't in a hospital, they'd be rolling in the sheets right now. No way. She just had an induction. Oh, what do you know? Didn't you see their expressions when I went to change the 4 bag? They looked like they had just been making out. Her lips were swollen. Miss Sterling looks so cold. I didn't expect her to be so fiery in private. Wait, that guy isn't her husband. The man who signed the surgery forms wasn't him. Her husband's last name is Vance. The nurses looked at each other, stunned, and quickly fell silent, realizing they had spoken out of turn. My hands clenched into fists, veins popping, as I walked step by step to the VIP room. The door was ajar, and Elena's coquettish voice drifted out. Stop kissing me. Julian will be back soon. Through the crack in the door, I could see Adrian's hand inside her hospital gown, and the sound of ambiguous kissing followed. Elena, now that his child is gone, give me a child next time. Inheriting our genes, perfect and flawless. Missing out on you, failing to marry you, is the regret of my life. But I hope you will bear a child for me. I don't need the title of husband, but the child must come from your womb. Julian won't know anyway. If he finds out you're pregnant later, he'll think you're willing to have his child and be overjoyed. Elena giggled playfully. You're so bad. What if he finds out? Adrian laughed softly. How would he know? Just like how we've been together this long, and he hasn't noticed, right? Besides, as long as you're pregnant and he thinks it's his seed, he'll agree to whatever sponsorship amount you want for the concerts. It kills two birds with one stone. Elena froned. But if you wanted to have her child, I can divorce him and we can be together openly. Adrian tapped her nose. Silly girl. Our orchestra loses money most of the time. We need a sponsor. Julian is the best sponsor there is. With you there, he grants every request. Just treat it as a sacrifice for our dream and endure it a little longer. Fighting back nausea, I stopped the recording on my phone, silently backed away from the ward, and left alone. I never went back to the hospital. When Elena was discharged, Adrian took her home. She merely said coldly over the phone, Julian, you're pathetic. Just because of the miscarriage, you're unwilling to fulfill even the basic duties of a husband? How long are you going to throw this tantrum? I gripped the phone and took a deep breath. I'm Busa. I'm preparing to come back the day of your concert. I'll have a big gift for you both then. My phone was connected to the security cameras at home. I had installed them with her permission back when she was pregnant, and I was traveling for business, afraid something might happen to her while she was alone. I never expected the cameras to be used like this. I watched Adrian and Elena in our home, intimately cooking, chatting, and kissing tenderly. I even saw Adrian wearing my pajamas, his arm around Elena, as they went into the master bedroom. Nausea surged, and I threw up in the toilet. It turns out when disappointment and disgust reach a limit, you really do physically vomit. A few days later, Adrian's concert began. Because of Elena's lobbying and insistence, I had sponsored this concert. As the biggest benefactor, I gave all my complimentary tickets to the major media outlets in the city to build hype for Adrian. The scene was grand. Adrian and Elena were ecstatic. Elena even sent me a rare, proactive text. Husband, will you be coming to our concert? I sneered and replied, I'll be there on time, and I've prepared a surprise. Adrian's concert was a massive success. His concept of performing on ice grabbed headlines, and he was being hailed as a cutting-edge artist. He held Elena's hand on stage to give a speech. Special thanks to the most important person in my life, Ms. Elena Sterling, for her constant support. Elena, you're truly vital to me. Thank you for appearing in my life. Elena Bluched. Just then, a staff member brought up a file folder. A gift from Mr. Vance to celebrate the success of the performance. And a congratulatory video. He requested we play it after your speeches. The guest below whispered excitedly. CEO Vance really spoils his wife. Flowers and gifts for every concert. The big screen lit up. It showed Elena and Adrian. Adrian was gently holding Elena, kissing her hair. Silly girl. Our orchestra loses money most of the time. We need a sponsor. Julian is the best sponsor there is. With you there, he grants every request. Just treat it as a sacrifice for our dream and endure it a little longer. Wait until we succeed. Then you can divorce him, take half his assets, and we can be together forever. The audience erupted in an uproar. On stage, Adrian and Elena went pale, screaming, Who played that video? Turn it off. Turn it off immediately. In her panic, Elena knocked over the file folder that had just been handed to her. The contents spilled out with a crash. The black and white text on the document jumped into her eyes. Divorce settlement agreement. Elena's hands trembled as she picked up the papers, looking frantically at the audience, muttering, Julian, where are you? Are you out there? Let me explain. It's not what you saw. It's all a misunderstanding. But the video on the screen continued. Her conversation with Adrian in the hospital room, their intimate actions, and the explicit, ambiguous behavior in my home after she was discharged. It was all displayed for everyone to see. Reporters rushed the stage. Ms. Sterling, was the miscarriage last week an accident, or did you intend for it to happen? Mr. Kane, regarding your affair with Ms. Sterling, you knew you were the other man. Are you proud of being a homewrecker? Mr. Kane, how do you feel about interfering in someone else's marriage and coaxing the woman you love to prostitute herself for money? Ms. Sterling, everyone knows Mr. Vance dotes on you. Now that your betrayal has been exposed, do you have any explanation? Elena defended herself loudly. I didn't miscarry on purpose. I did it for the art I love. I didn't mean to, a female reporter asked. As a woman, as a mother, you disregarded the safety of your fetus just to fulfill your lover's concert. You really don't deserve to be a mother. Elena covered her face. It wasn't like that. I thought it would be fine. They say the fetus is stable after 3 months. It was just standing on ice for 2 hours. How could I have known it would cause a miscarriage? Adrian tried to block them. Stop filming. Turn off the screen. The situation escalated. Finally, a A colleague from the orchestra found the power source and killed the big screen. I stood up and turned to leave the concert hall. Elena screamed, "Julian, stop!" Everyone looked over. I turned around. Elena, eyes red, rushed in front of me, screaming half crazily, "Why? Why'd it have to be today? Just as we were about to achieve fame and success. You had to ruin us? You had to destroy our reputations. We've been husband and wife for years. How could you be so heartless?" I looked at her with mockery. Years of marriage? Heartless? So, you know the meaning of heartless. Then tell me, when you were carrying on with Adrian behind my back, ignoring the safety of our baby for him, causing the fetal demise, did you consider my feelings? You betrayed our marriage. For Adrian, you made me sponsor you endlessly, spending real money to host these concerts, all while cheating on me. Is that not heartless? How did you manage to be my wife while calculating my money with your lover? Elena, aren't you an artist? Don't you view money as dirt? How could you plan to use my money to support your lover? I'm out there earning money, and you bring your lover to my home to fool around. Where's your shame? Tears slid down Elena's face. She choked out, "But do you know how hard it was for us to get to this step? How could you harm us at a time like this? You really went too far." I was nearly laughing at her shamelessness. "What? You too cheat, and I have to pick a convenient time to expose you. Should I have thrown you a celebratory banquet first? Are you out of your mind?" I snatched the divorce agreement from her hand and held it before her eyes. "Look clearly. Divorce agreement. Elena, sign it. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other." Elena grabbed me. "No, honey, I don't want a divorce. Give me another chance. You love me, don't you?" I looked at her, this woman I had once loved deeply, who now only disgusted me. I threw her hand off and scoffed. "Don't want a divorce? Why? Is it because Adrian can't give you the luxury life you have now? Or because you can't get the orchestra sponsorship anymore? Or do you think not divorcing makes the cheating more thrilling? Do your colleagues know you're this shameless? Do your fans know you're this disgusting?" Elena only cried and shook her head, looking up at me pleadingly. "Stop saying it, Julian. I was wrong. Give me another chance, okay? I'll be a good wife, a good mother." Hearing the words "good mother," my eyes turned bloodshot. I looked at her with hatred. "Elena, why beg you to think of the child? What did you say? What did you say in the hospital? You asked me for another chance, but you didn't even give our child one chance." I took a step back, looking at her with disappointment. "My lawyer will contact you directly. Elena, goodbye." She tried to chase after me, but grabbed at empty air, screaming behind me, "Julian!" But it was too late. I had already walked away, never looking back. Musician Adrian Kane and Elena Sterling's affair, cheating, and various negative news stories covered the internet overnight. Just as they thought they were achieving fame, they became pariahs overnight. The first thing I did after deciding to divorce Elena was notify the company to cut off all sponsorship for Adrian's orchestra. And the other companies that had intended to sponsor collaborations due to the concert's success immediately killed those thoughts. Who would want to associate with people whose reputations were in ruins? That would just be smearing themselves. Elena didn't sign the divorce agreement immediately, but she called me, her tone pleading. "Julian, can you please not cut the sponsorship? Adrian is just getting started domestically. He really needs support. You've already damaged his reputation. He doesn't blame you. Let's call it even, okay? As long as you're willing to continue sponsoring, I'll do whatever you want." The once aloof Elena, always high above the mundane world in front of me, was humbling herself for Adrian. I laughed mockingly. "Elena, you really love Adrian. To beg everywhere like this for him. It's a pity. I won't sponsor him again. And I'll make sure my friends don't sponsor him either. He's overflowing with talent. Then let him conquer people with his talent." Elena screamed in anger on the other end. "Julian, if you do this, I won't sign the divorce papers." I said calmly, "Then I'll see you in court." But before we got to court, Elena's parents found me. They arrived right during a signing ceremony for a major company project. The venue was full of reporters. Elena's father interrupted my speech on stage loudly, sternly saying, "Julian, how can you stand there speaking so self-righteously? My daughter ignored her pregnancy to perform for the success of the orchestra you invested in. She froze until she miscarried for you, and now you want to divorce her? Are you even human?" The guests were stunned, and reporters surrounded them. Many of my partners were from out of town and didn't know about Adrian and Elena's affair. They just pointed at me, their expressions darkening. I stood on stage, back straight, looking directly at Mr. Sterling. "I have never done anything to wrong your daughter. You coming here to cause a scene and affect my company's reputation. Can you handle the liability?" The reason Elena miscarried is that she insisted on standing on ice to perform to help Adrian hold his concert. After the miscarriage, it was also for Adrian that she left the hospital within days to continue performing on the ice. Your daughter's dedication to her love is truly touching. I think you're looking for the wrong person to take responsibility. I signal my secretary to take out her phone and pull up the video from the concert to show them. I don't know who sent you here to make trouble, but in this matter, I am the victim from start to finish. I haven't even sued Elena for emotional distress yet, and you have the nerve to come to me. The crowd buzzed with discussion. The video audio was playing over the speakers, loud and clear. People started searching for the news on their phones. A reporter who had been there that day started asking Elena's parents loudly, "Mr. Sterling, did you know your daughter was cheating? We heard that your house and car were bought by Julian after he married your daughter. Now that they're divorcing, will you be returning the house and car to Mr. Vance? Your daughter cheated during the marriage. What were you thinking coming here to pick a fight?" Mr. and Mrs. Sterling watched Elena and Adrian in the video, their faces alternating between red and white. They shouted, "Impossible! Elena said the child was lost because of you. Elena was raised well. How could she do such a thing?" I looked at them. "Why don't you go ask her yourself?" Mr. and Mrs. Sterling, completely humiliated, immediately went to the orchestra headquarters to find Elena. They found her together with Adrian. Elena was crying, eyes red. "What do we do now? All the orchestra's performances have been canceled. My solo concert can't happen because there's no sponsorship. Julian loves you so much. He's just angry right now. Why don't you go home in a few days and coax him? We have a long life ahead of us. It doesn't matter if we're not together for a little while, right?" Elena Sterling, "Get the hell out here." Her father's roar startled everyone. Elena went pale when she saw her parents. Her father was a university professor who valued his reputation above all else. His daughter doing something like this was undoubtedly a slap in his face. He looked at Elena and slapped her hard across the face. "How did I raise such a shameless daughter? Cheating? Our family has never had such scandalous behavior. How dare you? In what way did Julian treat you poorly? You betrayed him. This Adrian is just a gigolo. Are you unrepentant? You insist on being with him, sacrificing your child to be with him. And you lied to us, saying the child was lost because of Julian. Shameless." Elena fell to her knees with a thud. "Dad, I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to lose the baby. But Julian was so angry. He ruined the concert too." Her mother sighed, looking disappointed. "You did wrong yourself, yet you blamed Julian. Do you know your father? And I believed you and went to confront Julian? We lost all our dignity." Her father pointed at her. "Go apologize to Julian immediately. Then never see Adrian again. Come home with us." Elena was in tears. "Dad, let me be with Adrian. We truly love each other." Her father kicked her away. "If you stay with this moocher, don't call me dad anymore. Don't come back to the Sterling house." The situation intensified. Elena finally signed the divorce agreement, and we went through the formal procedures. After the divorce, Elena's father cut ties with her because she insisted on marrying Adrian. Things had escalated to a point where they couldn't end it without getting married. To regain some face, Adrian and Elena planned a grand, lavish wedding. Although the scandal was the talk of the town, some friends still attended. Reportedly, Elena looked blissful, weeping tears of joy as she married Adrian, fulfilling her dream of many years. After Elena married, due to the scandal, no one was willing to hire her. Her career came to a complete halt. She stopped performing with the orchestra and focused on trying to conceive at home, saying she wanted to give him a child. But half a year passed with no good news. A hospital checkup revealed that because she had caught a chill on the ice causing the miscarriage and then played on the ice again a week later without recovering, her body had been ruined. The doctor said her system was too damaged. It would be very difficult to conceive. She became obsessed, dragging Adrian to checkups daily, brewing traditional herbal medicine at home, and forcing Adrian to drink it with her. Adrian's career was blocked everywhere outside. He hit walls wherever he turned. At home, he had to face Elena's neurosis. During another instance of being forced to the hospital by Elena, Adrian finally exploded. "Can you stop acting like an ignorant peasant woman, caring only about carrying on the family line? I need to focus on developing my career right now. Do you realize that because of you, I've hit rock bottom? If I had known this, I really shouldn't have come back to see you." Elena was stunned, then started screaming frantically. "Because of me? Who did I end up like this for? For you, I divorced, my career stalled. Who was it for? And now you blame me? If you hadn't come back to provoke me, I would still have a happy family right now." Adrian sneered. "Regretting it now? Regret the divorce? Then go back to Julian. But he doesn't want you. You're ruined. You have nothing, and you betrayed him. He won't take you back. I heard he has a new girlfriend. You can't turn back." After the fight, Adrian moved out to a rental near the orchestra studio, too lazy to even go home. I saw Elena again at the hospital. I was accompanying my wife for a prenatal checkup. Half a year after divorcing Elena, I met my current wife through work. Because we shared the same values, we got together quickly. After marriage, she conceived quickly. We both valued this baby highly, so I accompanied her to every checkup. Elena, pale-faced, watched me supporting my wife as we walked out of the obstetrics clinic, looking happy. She stammered a greeting. "Julian, you're going to be a father? Congratulations." I smiled and said, "You and Adrian married 6 months before me. Aren't you preparing to have a child yet?" At the time, he seemed to really want you to bear his child. The double meaning hit her. She went pale, eyes reddening, and bit her lip. "Right, we'll have one soon." With that, she walked away hurriedly in a panic. My wife knew about Elena. She looked at me playfully. "No more looking. You're my husband now, my baby's daddy." I hug her. Of course, nothing is more important than my wife and child. We realized Elena had dropped her report on the ground. We picked it up to return it to her. But before we reached the corner, we heard the sounds of a scuffle. Elena was tearing into a young, pretty girl. Adrian was beside them, trying anxiously to pull them apart, but failing, getting slapped in the process. "You vixen, you knew he had a wife, yet you acted as the mistress. How are you any better? What's the difference between you and a mistress? Didn't you cheat too?" Elena's eyes were bloodshot with rage as she looked at Adrian. "Is this how you treat me? You actually dare to cheat?" Adrian pushed her away and protected the pretty girl in his arms. "Chloe is pregnant with my child. You can't conceive now. You can't expect the Cain line to end with me. Chloe didn't ask me to divorce, nor did she demand a title. What are you dissatisfied with?" Elena stumbled back a few steps, looking at him in disbelief. "For whom did I ruin my health? For whom did I miscarry? For whom did I play the violin on the ice, ending up infertile? Who was it for?" Adrian frowned. "Enough. That's why I didn't divorce you. The position of Mrs. Cain is still yours. Isn't that enough?" Chloe clutched her stomach and looked at Elena. "Lady, you're old. You should rest. Don't run around acting like a crazy woman. Adrian and I are truly in love. I only want Adrian. I leave the title to you. Consider it my respect for the elderly." With that, she took Adrian's arm to leave. "Go to hell." Elena's face twisted into a mask of pure malice. She shoved Chloe hard from behind. Chloe lost her footing and tumbled down the stairs. Because Adrian was being held by the arm, he fell with her. Screams filled the hospital corridor. "Help! Someone fell down the stairs. There's blood everywhere. Call the police." Elena was quickly detained by hospital security. She looked at Chloe being lifted onto a stretcher, blood staining her clothes, and laughed maniacally. "You want to have a baby? I can't have one, so you don't get to have one either." Chloe lost the baby. She insisted on charging Elena with attempted murder. Elena was taken into custody. Since it happened in a hospital, with witnesses, physical evidence, and security footage, her conviction was inevitable. Terrified, Elena kept asking for Adrian, wanting him to sign a letter of forgiveness. But because Adrian had fallen down the stairs, his right arm suffered a comminuted fracture. The doctor said even with recovery, it would have a fatal impact on his playing. He would never take the stage again. Adrian did not sign the letter. Instead, he sent Elena a divorce notice. He didn't even show his face, letting his lawyer handle everything. Elena kept hoping Adrian would come to see her. When she finally saw only the lawyer her family had hired, she covered her face and wept bitterly. "I ended up like this for him. I didn't expect him to hate me so much. Clearly, he was the one in the wrong. Why does he hate me? Why did he betray me? I lost the ability to be a mother for him. Yet he went out and had a child with another woman. Why? Shouldn't he pay the price?" But no one paid her any mind. Her parents only hired a lawyer for her and never visited. They were likely utterly disappointed. Elena was eventually sentenced to prison. Adrian divorced her. Since he could no longer play the violin, he had to leave the city. I heard he went back to his hometown and opened a small music school teaching children. But because of his arm injury, his playing wasn't what it used to be. Fewer and fewer students came, and it eventually shut down. No one knew where he went after that. On the first day of a new year, my daughter was born in the first rays of morning light. My wife asked me, "Give the baby a name." I looked at the sunshine and the dawn outside. I said softly, "Let's call her Aurora. It signifies the power of new life and the awakening of all things."